Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Holistic Science Charitable Foundation, we welcome you here. And today we have a distinguished guest from India. His name is Deepak Anandji. Few background of his, uh, he as an electrical engineer, and when he was studying, he had a lot of questions about life, what is going on, why, and he could not get answers from any textbooks. So he was always in search of trying to get the truth or trying to understand what reality was. Then, after his bachelor's in electrical engineering, he was working. He worked for 6 years, and then he found a person by the name of A.M. Patel who got him an introduction into what life is all about. And since then, he was with him for a while, and then after 6 8 years he stopped working and devoted his full time on the holistic inner science to learn himself, to teach others, and he has been traveling all over the world. And today's topic is he'll brush a little bit on the overview of life, and then the main topic would be adjust everywhere. So we'll give a little bit introduction on both of them, and we will encourage you to have question and answer. Okay. With that, Vidya Kananji.
Thank you for the introduction, and we will go further into this very touchy topic of our life, which we face every other moment. Okay. These are the points we are going to cover. Science of blissful daily living. One by one it will come. The goal of my life. I must learn to live naturally for happiness. We will see that our human life is a natural composition so that we can remain ever happy and blissful. We try to understand that. Okay. I can consider myself happy primarily when I'm healthy. And as per the definition that goes about the health, I must be physically, mentally, psychologically, emotionally, socially, and spiritually healthy that I'm healthy. Today's scenario is high number of divorces, human society is divided. What can we learn from the nature? The human life is also natural. You look at the planets, look at the plants, look at the animals, look at the creatures, they're all living naturally. Humans from within, their inner functionality is also natural, but the social living is unnatural under the potent influence of likes, dislikes, anger, pride, possessiveness, and greed. And so we are suffering. And the kind of impact, the way they live, it has direct impact on the nature. So what does the nature normally do? We see earthquakes, volcanoes, tsunamis, extreme weather changes, floods, but it is the attempt of the nature to bring back everything to normality, which is caused by humans. This is the secret science of determination, how we decide and things happen in our life. So our goal of happiness totally rely on this. Our life is divided into two compartments. Decided is the compulsory aspect of our life, what we call as destiny. We have no control over it. And decision is the free will, which we have a choice and in our existence today. That is where our independence lies. And it is life's greatest challenge to understand where really I can work, and that is where if I learn to decide correctly, firmly, with total determination, I can really achieve what I want. Just to take an example, whatever we have decided previously, it has happened. The family you are born in, the place you are sitting down, the clothes you are wearing, everything, the house you are living in, the car you are driving, it was your decision. And that's how it has happened in your life. The job, the friends, the colleagues, the relations, they're all chosen by us. And that's how it has happened. So whatever that happens with us today, and if you're not happy, that is where we can use our free will and change it through right decision. So here lies the power of decision, and it is also said that we are the maker of our destiny. We have family relations. We will try to understand the expanse of our relations. We have family relations. We, being citizen of the country, we have friends, neighbors, other citizens. We have family connections, husband, wife, children. People follow religion, so they have religious friends, disciples, followers. At work or at business, they have colleagues, boss, subordinate, business friends, customers, etc. But the primary relation, as per the holistic science, is our body only, because with all the rest of the relations, we hardly spend time. But we live in this body, so our body relation is 24/7. These relations are nothing but obligations of give and take. It is only through these relations that we get happiness, we give happiness, we get suffering, we give suffering. So life is nothing but dealing with these relations only. And holistic science says that wherever there is relation, there will be a level of eye-to-eye contact. If relation is not there, there won't be any kind of eye-to-eye contact. So if we look at the 7+ billion population of the world today, what relations we have, informal relations at home, where we spend like 14 to 16 hours a day. We have formal relations like job, business, and other places, like 8 to 10 maximum a day. And it is said that if we learn to win our home, then we have won the world. So we don't have to worry about the 7+ billion population. We don't have to worry about the CNN news or the BBC news or any local channel, what happened, where. It should be used just for information. We have to understand that just because it has come up in the news, we are never going to encounter that in our life. But we live with worry and tension looking at these news factors. Okay, what are the effects of the strained relationship? People are hurt by me. They're not happy with me. I am not happy because I cannot get along with them. I get stuck with some addiction because of the frustration I get into. I feel lonely. I feel I'm left alone. And maybe I end up with depression and with related medications. Definitely, this is the situation which needs immediate attention and solution, which holistic inner science has. What are the causes of these strained relations? We don't know that knowingly, unknowingly, we are thinking, we are speaking, our actions are such, it is hurting others. I want to live as per my desires only. My way is highway. I have a dominating ego. I want others to listen to me. I don't want to listen to anyone. I have my own agenda and I want others to follow that. I never consult others. This is the typical manifestation of ego, and that is how, in principle, through our mind, speech and body, we hurt others, and it is nature's law, we get it back. The nature's law says, I am whole and soul responsible for myself. So whether I succeed, whether I fail, it is me only who is responsible, but conveniently I blame others when I fail, and I pat myself when I succeed. The world is nothing but ego and reflection of whatever I do. So the world is in fact totally fault free and it is natural. I face the effects of my doing only. So wherever I suffer in my life, it is my fault. Today the family constitution is like garden in the sense how we have different plants, different roses, other flowers, other fruits growing in a garden. Humans, family members are also different. Everyone, they look different, they think different, they want to live differently. So, what is the key understanding you should have, which the holistic science has given? We want to really think about it. It is not like a farm, like you have a corn farm or wheat farm or canola farm. And the best part of it is what? The nature works for settlement only. So it is the attempt of the nature to bring back everything to normality. So if the nature is working positively, trying to bring back everything to normality, we must also think of settling issues, whatever or wherever they pop up in our life. So if we follow the principles of holistic inner science, where they're very simple to understand and follow in our life, we will experience oneness with all, with everyone. Holistic solution for harmonious relationship. Relations are glassware we must learn to handle with care. We can always say that every person is a good person. With that we can have a positive vision. The reason is the nature is helping the person live. So there is some positivity in that person which is supporting the nature. We are not able to see, but that's how we can understand that every individual is after all a good person. If we live as per desires of others, then naturally our desires would naturally get fulfilled. The world will not change for me, so I must adjust everywhere to avoid clashes, to avoid suffering. And an example is if we take care of our subordinates, then our superiors will naturally take care of us. The principle goes like this: what goes around comes around. So if you take care of your subordinates, naturally you'll be taken care by your boss. Relations survive with honesty. So if we keep in our mind, back of our mind, that dishonesty is the best foolishness, so we will never cross the boundaries of honesty. Holistic science says our relations are we only. They are no different from us. In the practicing tool, we must be mindful and observant about what we are doing, what we are thinking, what we are speaking. Observe ourselves, acknowledge our mistakes wherever we are hurting others, ask for forgiveness, feel sorry about whatever wrong is done, and resolve, decide never to commit any mistake ever again. And we have a small projection which is called 9 diamond. So it is classified that it is 9 different ways typically we commit mistakes, and if we focus on that, project on that, then we can really get benefit of holistic science and we can experience happiness in our life. Basically, we need for our survival air, water and food. And because we are living being, we always have to eat something which is living only. We cannot eat anything which is non-living. An American author, naturalist, and he has said that you may consider yourself happy when the food that you eat is also your medicine. So the food we eat, if we consider and keep in our mind that I'm taking that as a medicine, I will always be happy and healthy. We can do that. So just to understand, food basically has 6 different tastes: bitter, pungent, astringent, sour, salty, and sweet. These tastes must be taken in balanced proportion for us to have a balanced diet. Any deficiency or excess of any taste would make us sick. Medicine balances those related tastes. Just to brief, we have just put it, there's other details also. Okay, the core principle of blissful living is we must understand the importance of sincerity and morality. Wherever we are sincere and moral, we will succeed. So, a sincere person, what he would do, because he doesn't want to hurt others, how would he be living? He will not hurt anybody's ego. He will not hurt foundation of any religion. He will never disrespect any religious preacher. He will never hate or dislike anybody. He will not hurt anyone through his speech. He will not have any desire, gesture, thoughts, or perverted sensuality or passion toward any gender except his spouse. Eat a balanced diet. Should not show any disregard toward any living or dead in someone's presence or in absence. He should not see anybody at fault and be an instrument for anybody's misery or sorrow, including our own. These are the 9 different projections we have highlighted here. And because we live under the potent influence of our inner weaknesses of anger, pride, possessiveness, and greed, we have lost our inner peace, inner balance, and happiness. Sincere becomes moral. Sincere, who is considered as sincere? One who would genuinely and wholeheartedly deal with others without hypocrisy as one would deal with himself. Sincere would always use these scientific tools of adjust everywhere, avoid clashes, sufferer is at fault, positive vision, life is an echo, result of my reflection only, other person is merely a delivery postman of the nature. Moral would use the means he has earned honestly in a rightful, decent manner. Moral would never deceive or cheat anybody. How to live successfully, considering success in studies, career, job, business, and relations. So, now living successfully. Let it be academic, career, or job or business, dealing with our relations, our success story would depend upon how well we understand and use principles of holistic inner science, of perfect humility and discrimination-free vision, along with other supporting tools like look for who suffered in any situation, because it is the sufferer who is at fault. So whatever happened, we must consider that as just. And for that, I must adjust everywhere and never procrastinate to avoid clashes. Further, to evaluate with positive vision, I must understand that the world is my reflection, so I don't see any preconceived laws, but my focus would be on settlement only. I would be honest to myself and everyone else, because dishonesty is the best foolishness. Failure teaches me more. Whether I fail or succeed, living with understanding of holistic inner science, I will definitely succeed. So we will try to see this thing now in detail. This is the ultimate holistic inner science tool for blissful living. Why you must adjust? Whenever confronted, we must perform whatever it is to free from our obligation of give and take relation. If not, then further it is going to further complicate my relation. Because it is in any relation we can see, husband and wife basically, there is some factor of give and take. The factor is of happiness only or suffering. Against stubbornness, either way, either one could become stubborn, don't want to change. Then what is the holistic remedy for it? Straightforwardness, that is how I will adjust everywhere to free from every kind of opposition. Adjustment always helps me get along with all and overcome weaknesses of insistence. Like if the boss tells me I'm going to follow the subordinate, but at home now who is the boss? Both are bosses. So we must learn to please each other at home. It is very important because together we are one. We are not two separate individuals. Although we are separate individuals, but socially we are one family. We must focus on that for our inner happiness. So if we have decided to adjust no matter what, we will enjoy the freedom, the peace and oneness. How to adjust? Home relations are very vital. Use adjustment for settlement. Where viewpoints differ, which is very much likely because everyone have independent mind. So they will think independently. But if we have learned to adjust, we will become favorable. Situations are natural happening. They don't change, but we can change. So if we have decided to adjust, we will be able to change in any situation and make the situation amicable. Women don't easily change because of their mind frame. Not that this is not something weakness or strength, but they have this strength also. But if we understand this, then we know that we must adjust and change for our relation, for our welfare and freedom. What goes around comes around, so we must adjust. Otherwise, life will become miserable. People are revengeful. So if they are hurt, they will try to look out for the next opportunity and they will pounce on you. So we must think positively about it. Relations are bypassers in the sense that you have to spend few years, maybe that could be 30, 40, 50 years, but before your marriage you did not see your husband or wife. After the marriage, that is the end of our life, nothing is going to happen. So we must learn to adjust, and if we have learned to adjust, life would be wonderful. So it is said, life, because it is a relation is always relative, so it is always temporary, and if we have learned how to handle with adjustment, life will be wonderful. Try to make others understand. We must try to make others understand, whether it is your husband, your wife, your children, but if they don't, then just pray for their welfare. Don't worry and or anyway fight or get disturbed. Because our duty is to make them understand. If they don't understand, just leave it and accept whatever it is. Adjustment. We must learn to become favorable to others because everyone like that. So if I make the other person happy and for my freedom, then I will experience the same happiness and freedom. We must try to shorten our life journey of suffering by adjustment, because with adjustment I won't be suffering. Learn to pass difficult time through adjustment. So if you have learned this master key of adjustment, life would be very easy. Difficult time would pass, we won't even know. Wife is your counterweight. So as much stubborn you are, she is. So the way it is said over here that the world is your reflection, there is no point in arguing or seeing faults of others because it is your reflection. So we say that the other person is stubborn, other person is like this or like that. No, but it is your reflection. So no point in fighting, understand and adjust. Husband and wife both must decide to adjust with each other and everything will happen, fall in its place. So it is said, never meddle with others because everyone is a unique entity, independent being, yet we are socially connected. And the connection part, association part is only what we have to take care. We should not meddle with the independent aspect of every individual. So we must understand what is worth doing in every situation. If we have known what is to be done in every situation through thinking and foresight, I will always be peaceful and happy and harmonious with everyone. So it is said that 24-hour alertness is necessary of adjustment for knowledge to open as wisdom. We know many things, But for us to prove in our life that we have that understanding, we must be alert, and if our life do not reflect that, what is the use? For example, if the food doesn't come as per your taste or liking, if you have learned to adjust, then there is no problem, because there is always an attempt to make you happy by preparing whatever the food is prepared. But when that adjustment factor is there, you have no problem. Never push or disturb any situation, because it is going to come back to you only. Avoid committing two mistakes. In any situation, if we are suffering, that is the part of our destiny that we are suffering. But when I react, and through my reactions, when it hurt others, I am causing another mistake for which I am going to face back the suffering. So adjust everywhere is the key phrase and understanding we must have. So as much our mind, speech and body cannot adjust, then we must understand that this is the problem of our mind, speech, body. But when we correct ourselves through holistic solutions, we can come out of that. We must always mind our words, because we know that in the garden, the plants, the flowers are not fighting. You know why? Because they don't have speech. So we must know it is like the world is, we have seen that the world is like a garden, so adjustment is the only key to peace, harmony and happiness. Offer work. So if you are having safari race, we should know who knows what. If you assign work as per their skill and capability, they will never have complaint. You will get the maximum output. So we must learn to deal with patience. So it is a kind of recap. Relations at glassware, handle with care. Never tell anyone that you do not understand. They would come back. They would become bad, in the sense that if you tell, you motivate other person, praise their strength, they can come out of their weaknesses, shortcomings. Always speak up at home, because wherever it is necessary, you must say, otherwise people go astray, whether they are children or any relation. Never scold children. Your point, Sonali. They go off track. Instead, we must channelize their strength positively, try to make them understand, because they are also living like us and they are learning. So you must know when to speak and when not to speak. This is the highest skill of our life, and that is where, when it is necessary, we don't speak. When it is necessary not to speak, we speak, and that is where the situation becomes tense. So this is the very critical part, and if you have learned to handle any situation with this understanding, we are done. Deal lovingly, speak politely. We all know that, but you need to remind yourself again and again, and it will come as part of our nature. People improve with love. Diverse viewpoints are bound to be there. A wise person would identify other person's viewpoints, other person's belief, adjust to them, and still remain in the center of impartiality, that is discrimination-free vision. Never express your viewpoint first. Listen patiently and adjust. Always remain within the boundaries of perfect humility, in the sense, at no point we must fail to perform. We must perform. World arose out of animosity. So deal in such a way that others don't get hurt, because people are revengeful. It's a word of caution actually. Everybody wants to do their way, and we must let them do. This doesn't mean that we do not make them understand. You explain them, make them understand, and then leave it to them. Make them realize of their responsibility, because we are whole and soul responsible for ourselves. Live as per desires of others, your desires will naturally get fulfilled. Hope for the best and prepare for the worst. This will be the highest level of positivity. So we can have this thing on primarily we are whole and so responsible for ourselves. World is ours, it is our reflection. We are the maker of our destiny. Our relations are we only. Decide today, I don't want to hurt anyone through my mind, speech and body, and I will adjust everywhere. Be mindful of what we are doing. Keep correcting our mistakes. I am everywhere, I can live blissfully. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Deepakaranji. This was a fast overview, because now we'll open for questions, and let's squeeze in so we can get some answers from our everyday life. While everybody's thinking, I'll start the first one.
Yes, please.
If somebody tells me bad things, or somebody tells me something which I don't like, and initially I'm hurt, then based on that, how do you adjust, or how can you say that the world is your own echo, and how, that's it. I am very tense right now because somebody really told me something which I did not like, which I am not like that.
See, there is one thing. If someone is saying, then you know, number one, that who is saying that, who is telling you like that. And then we must say that the person would have seen something wrong. Somewhere I have failed to perform. Without that, it cannot come. So instead of getting dragged away or driven away by the immediate reaction, what you must say, okay, I accept my mistake. Can you please elaborate where did I really go wrong? So I want to correct myself. And then coolly you can easily correct yourself. Because whatever it is, unless a mistake is committed, it cannot back up on us. So we must have that patience that everyone has the right to react. And if we have done something wrong, I feel it is better someone react to my mistake because I have opportunity to correct. Sonali, what do you think if you commit mistake, your mom and dad don't tell you anything? Will it be good? Or your grandpa and grandmom, they don't tell you. Will it be good or it will be bad? No, in the sense, if they don't tell you, you have committed a mistake, so they must tell, right? That's one. So you would know and you will correct yourself. That's how it is.
I want to know more about the reactions. So one of the things we teach is react versus respond.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
And some of the things we talk about is 6 pillars of character, and one of those is the trustworthiness, but trusting yourself and your gut to kind of allow the situation to unfold before we react. So the neuroscience actually behind it is sorry, I won't get too deep, but it's around 4 to 6 seconds. So we teach people to delay gratification. So it's really our gratification that places us in a position where we want to respond, react versus respond. The response can be nothing. The response is the time it takes. And I'm trying to see the correlation between what you guys are teaching so that when I teach children to either adjust everywhere or adapt, I look at this and I see a lot of the same structures of what we're putting together.
Exactly. See, the first number one idea is wherever there is wisdom, it is holistic. Few areas of explanation or understanding could be different, but in its core, in its principle, it is not different at all. It only depends how it is expressed, how it is put forward. But in principle, wherever there is science of life in whatever way, religious or any spiritual or any agencies or any organization, in its core it is holistic. So it cannot differ. Okay, now immediate reactions are bound to occur because we have seen people reacting. We have learned from people only that if such a thing happens, you must react. You must react because we have seen people reacting like that. So it is a natural response from our side to react. But when we get exposed to such things, then we come to know that, hey, wait, have patience. Even if you have reacted, you can always correct yourself. Sorry, please excuse me. And you can always come back, evaluate, observe yourself, and then give an appropriate response. So that opportunity you definitely have. But if you are observant, if you are mindful about your own living, thinking wise, speaking wise, dealing wise, then what will happen over a period of time, you will definitely see that your reactions, they are coming down, and moreover, you will be responding appropriately in different situations of your life. It takes time.
This sounds to me as if, so again, I base everything on the science behind neuroscience, right? So
It is.
So the frontal lobe is the last to develop in human beings, this part of the brain.
Correct. Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
as a child develops, because as we work with children, that typically is significantly underdeveloped. So everything you're presenting, I'm trying to translate into how I would build and develop into our programs.
Definitely.
And how can, and the second part of what I hear is the positive parenting. So
Correct.
instead of focusing on what they're doing wrong, focusing on how to change or adapt or with their strengths,
Exactly.
and build on their strengths. And that's another part of what we teach. But there's got to be how do you guys, how does this program adjust everywhere, correlate to the lack of executive functioning skills from the kids?
See, the only thing is that children or even adults, they are exposed to the world wherein they are living a life full of reactions only, full of negativities only. It is very rare that they find something positive. So all these negativities they are going to pick up easily. But then we, either at home as parents or in organization wherein we are handling and teaching children or adults, we make them realize that this is what. So first step is you learn to make them aware of what they are doing. So they will understand, oh, did I do this? Did I say this? Did I think like that? So that is where the first vibrations are coming out. And if you focus on that, you observe them, you correct them, then that's how it will bring a change in you. It is a time-consuming process, but it is 100% scientific. It's not like you are trying to impose certain thing, but you are trying to deal with the living person totally scientifically.
So it sounds to me as if we're really focusing on metacognition. So the term metacognition is aware
Yes.
of how you present yourself to your environment.
Exactly.
And that is one of the more challenging aspects of adulthood that most people don't have. They don't have a good understanding of how they are responding or reacting to the situation. So I heard a very good overview of what you guys do, but the application process is different. It's one of the biggest challenges that I know that we have is that we educate, and education is completely different than application.
Exactly.
So the practice and application part of it is key. How do you practice and apply?
See, when we come across such groups, we explain first of all. The first step is explanation. Then they interact with us, and when they get to know the right thing, because then there is elaboration, we will discuss, we will talk it over, they will express their situations, we explain them how it can be handled, and that's how that through that exchange, online or through phone or personal meeting, if it is possible, whenever, whatever is possible, we do that. And it is, see, our brain is such, you get the right thing, immediately it changes. In the sense, I must know what is right, what is wrong, and if my mind, let's say, my brain accepts it, that, oh, that was a mistake, I cannot be doing that, my behavior changes right away. So, what is important is we must have a lot of patience to make the other person understand. And that understanding, if that becomes clear, the behavior will change naturally. We must not focus on behaving or their behavior. We must focus what is the child or the other person's understanding, because as per his understanding, he lives. So when the understanding changes, behavior changes.
You know, generally, the parenting part of that is the expression of say what to do, not what you not to do. So it's the terms of using negation, like stop, don't do that, isn't as
Exactly.
important as saying
No.
this is what we are going to do.
Yes, why you shouldn't do, why you should this,
Mm-hmm.
that's what. Same way, eating wise, why you should eat this, why you shouldn't eat this, is very important. And children are so smart, if they understand, they will never cross their boundary. They will never cross. At least we have seen. Once they have understood, they need not be told again. In fact, many times adults take cross their boundary and they say, it's okay, never mind if you do this sometimes. They say, no, that's what you taught us. You're not supposed to be doing this. What happens?
Does this process call for discipline?
No, you can call this a discipline, but to make them understand is a ultimate discipline. Then, even in our absence, they will live a disciplined life. Then they don't need to be observed or seen. They will take care of themselves. They know their responsibility. They know what discipline and why they should be doing this for their own happiness and progress.
So no timeouts.
You know, yeah, exactly. It is wonderful and it is really fulfilling, because when you know it is like a live experimentation of our life. We are living our life based on previous belief and understanding, that is we call as lived out life, which is practically, we said, it's a decided compartment of our life. And the decision compartment of our life is what we are using our free will, the right understanding today, where I am existing today, I exist today, I am living today now. I change them. I reprogram myself. That's how it is going to change my life. And once understanding is perfect, behavior will be perfect. Today, understanding is lacking, so behavior is lacking. But that understanding is the carried forward understanding, what they have gathered over a period of time. It is very easy to tell them, don't do this, stop now and all that. But in certain extreme conditions only, you have to use force to stop them. Otherwise, we have to make them understand. Because at times,